outside, Diana Colum seemed to have it all. She was married to a successful dentist, ran a thriving practice with him, raised 4 children, and was a respected member of her community. But that perfect picture was shattered on a quiet Tuesday, January 27th of 2026, when her teenage daughter came home from school to an unimaginable scene. What could possibly lead a mother to do the unthinkable to her own son? The answer, it seems, was hidden behind a carefully crafted facade. In the sunny community of St. Petersburg, Florida, Diana and Damien Colum were the very picture of success. They had founded Crescent Lake Family Dentistry, a practice they built together in a beautiful restored 1920s building. Diana, with a background in business, had even personally managed the renovation. The practice's website, a key part of their public image, presented a wholesome, Christian-based approach. It painted a portrait of Diana as a devoted partner and mother whose life revolved around her family, faith, gardening, and charity. It also proudly listed their 4 children and 2 French bulldogs, Milo and Max. Diana, a Florida native, was described as a driving force who helped her husband build their business from the ground up. The family lived in a lovely home on Tanglewood Drive, a property that, in a strange twist, had been listed for sale for $1.3 million just the week before the incident. To the outside world, to their neighbors and their patients, the Colums seemed to have a perfect life. But behind that curated image, a tragedy was about to unfold. The afternoon of January 27th of 2026 started like any other Tuesday. Just after 3:30 p.m., the Colum's 16-year-old daughter returned home from school. When she walked through the door, she stepped into a living nightmare. A police spokesperson later confirmed that the teenager was greeted by a horrific sight. Blood was all over the house. She immediately called 911. When officers arrived, they found 43-year-old Diana Colum in a bed, holding her 4-year-old son, Finley. The little boy was unresponsive, and both he and his mother were covered in blood. Diana was alive, but she had what police would later confirm were self-inflicted stab wounds on her arms. Tragically, Finley was already gone. The perfect family home had become a shocking crime scene, leaving everyone to ask one simple question. What happened in that house? The first few hours of the investigation were chaotic. Seeing the amount of blood, police initially reported that young Finley had been stabbed. But as forensic teams worked late into the night, the medical examiner discovered the devastating truth. Finley hadn't been stabbed at all. He had been suffocated with a plastic bag. The blood that covered the scene had all come from his mother's non-life-threatening injuries. As police tried to piece together what happened, the 16-year-old daughter pointed them to another discovery, a note she found, which police believe her mother had written. The contents of that note have never been released to the public. After being briefly treated at a hospital, Diana Colum was taken into police custody and booked in the Pinellas County Jail in the early morning hours of January 28th, charged with first-degree murder. The next day, Diana Colum made her first court appearance over a video feed from the jail. The woman whose business projected an image of warmth and community now appeared stone-faced with her arms crossed. As she raised a hand during the proceeding, the self-inflicted wounds on her arms were clearly visible. Her husband, Damien, sat in the courtroom gallery, watching on with visible emotion. A judge ordered Diana to be held without bond, and in a painful but necessary step, barred her from having any contact with her surviving daughter, the very one who had walked in on the tragedy. Her attorney indicated that a plea would be entered as the case moves forward, in a detail that only deepened the community's shock. Police confirmed they had never once been called to the family's home for any prior incidents. The public persona of Diana Colum, the successful wife, business partner, and mother, was gone, replaced by the image of a woman accused of murdering her own little boy. The case of Diana Colum is a chilling reminder that the lives people show the world can hide a much darker reality. A family that seemed to have everything was destroyed in a single afternoon of shocking violence. A 4-year-old boy named Finley lost his life, and a family was shattered forever. As the legal case continues, the question of why hangs over everything. There was no obvious warning signs, no public cries for help, only a perfect facade that concealed a darkness so profound that it ended in the most unnatural of crimes. The question isn't just how this happened, but could anyone have possibly seen it coming?